We're driving a brand new SUV today, and this car marks the entry of a major French manufacturer in India. Now, the French have a very unique pronunciation of words. So first we're going to figure out how to pronounce the brand. We're talking about Citroën, or is it Citroën, or is it Citroën? Well, from what I heard at the presentation, it's Citroën. So let's just stick with that. Now that we have the pronunciation figured out, let's talk about the car. This is the new C5 Aircross, and this is Citroën's new premium SUV that will go up against the likes of the upcoming Volkswagen Tiguan 5-seater and the Hyundai Tucson. But what is Citroën doing differently to stand out amongst the horde of SUVs already present in the market? Let's find out. Now, the general definition of SUVs is sports utility vehicle, but according to Citroën, it's smooth, unique vehicle. Let's see what they mean by that. Now, if you look at the front, it's quite a unique design, and the highlight here is this double chevron design, as they call it. Now, as is the trend these days, you get these slim LED DRLs on the top and these nicely shaped halogen headlights at the bottom. And you get halogen in this variant because this is the base Feel variant, while on the higher spec Shine variant you get dual beam LEDs. Now, what also adds to the front are these chrome elements on the front grille, which add a slight premiumness to the overall design. Further below, the details continue. On either ends of the air dam you get this snazzy design detail, and if you look closely, one of them is shut while the other serves as a vent for additional cooling. And right at the corner of each bumper, you also get fog lamps, which also serve as cornering lamps. Now, moving to the side, again you notice these radical design details. Being an SUV, you get this cladding that runs across the length of the car, and you find the same design detail that you have in the front on the sides as well. But what stands out the most is this C motif, which also gets a chrome outline. You also get a small glass area here with blacked out surroundings, which adds to the floating roof effect. Finishing it up on the sides are the superb looking 18-inch two-tone swirl alloy wheels. Now, moving to the rear, you get this nice upright rear end. The rectangular shaped 4-box LED tail lamps occupy a raised position at the rear. Other highlights include a roof mounted spoiler, vents at the side, parking sensors, and plastic cladding at the bottom with non-functional chrome exhaust tailpipes. As far as the dimensions are concerned, the C5 at 4500 mm is a shade longer than the Hyundai Tucson and a shade shorter than the Tiguan All-Space, but it's wider than both the Tiguan and the Hyundai Tucson. Overall, the C5 Aircross is a radical looking SUV. It's got just the right tones of aggression, muscle and quirkiness, and enough presence to turn heads. Getting inside the cabin, the funky exterior design follows on the inside as well. So you get this nice grey-black combination, you get plenty of soft touch materials all around, which is a good thing. But what is immediately apparent is the freshness that the cabin exudes. So you also get this straight dashboard and these nicely designed vertical aircon vents. And sitting bang in the center is this 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system, which could have been at least 2 inches larger than what it is. You get the aircon controls over here, and you get direct access buttons over here as well for the music source, the aircon, navigation and more, and these are touch sensitive. The instrument binnacle is even better. It's a 12.3-inch digital cluster and can be customized with 3 graphic modes: personal, dual and minimum. And it looks quite fancy with all the information in front of you. It's also a very practical cabin. The large compartment under the central armrest has a section that can carry a 1.5 litre bottle, whilst the glove box and door pockets are roomy too. You also get a large storage area at the front of the center console. Now let's talk about the seats. Now the C5's USP has always been comfort, and one of the main parameters associated with comfort is ride quality. But Citroën has also paid a lot of attention to the seats. For starters, they look and feel special. The seats are grey grain leather with a light grey band. But more than just looking special, Citroën claims that along with broad cushions and seat backs, you also get high density foam at the base and thick textured foam at the surface. And boy, do they work well. You get lumbar support as well, and there is adequate support all around to make the journeys comfortable. While the driver's seat is electrically adjustable, the co-passenger needs to do the adjustments manually. The only thing missing is ventilation, which would have made it perfect. Now moving on to the back bench, as you can see, you've got decent amount of legroom. The front seats has been adjusted according to my height, so it's not too bad at all. You also get very good under thigh support, as you can see, so long journeys shouldn't be a problem at all. But the special thing about the rear bench is that these are 3 individual seats, and they're also adjustable for recline, and they slide fore and aft as well. So it depends on how you want the seating to be. They're extremely adjustable and they fold completely flat should you want to load up the whole cabin with luggage. Even the boot has plenty of space. You do get an electric tailgate, but in the top Shine variant. With all the seats in place, it has a humongous 580 litres of boot space. Move the rear seats to their furthermost position and you get up to 720 litres, giving you the most generous boot in its class. With the modular seats folded away, there's an amazing 1630 litres of boot space available. Now let's take a look at the features that the C5 Aircross packs in. So you get an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, panoramic sunroof in the Shine variant, cruise control, air purifier, automatic headlights and wipers, front and rear parking sensors, reversing camera, LED mood lights, park assist, keyless entry with push button start, dual zone climate control and more. It's covered on the safety front too. The C5 gets a coffee break alert, blind spot monitoring system, hill descent and hill start assist, front driver, passenger and side airbags, curtain airbags, ESP and EBS. Powering the C5 is a 2-litre diesel engine that makes 175 bhp and a massive 400 Newton meters of torque that powers the front wheels. So yes, no all-wheel drive here. But to make things a little more interesting, you can choose between Eco and Sports mode. And should you decide to get off the beaten path, you can also choose between 4 traction modes. So you get Standard, you get Snow, you get all-terrain and sand. Now Citroën claims best-in-class noise insulation in the cabin, and we must say it's really good. But every time the throttle comes into play, a slight diesel thrum is always present. But it's not the same when you're cruising, and it's almost absent at 3-digit constant speeds. But what is phenomenal is the throttle response. It's immediate with no lag whatsoever. Bags of torque along with well-spaced gear ratios means the C5 has the performance whenever you call for it. Gear shifts are also quick, and you also get the convenience of paddle shifters. The strong performance is further complemented by good fuel efficiency, and Citroën claims a figure of 18.6 kilometers per litre. Now let's talk about the ride and handling, and let's get to the ride part first, because Citroën claims the C5 to be a comfort class SUV, and we don't really doubt them because Citroën's been at the forefront of suspension technology from as early as 1919 with cars like the DS, the 2CV and the GS. The C5 gets what Citroën calls the Citroën Advanced Comfort Program. So while the regular cars get a shock absorber, a spring and a mechanical bump stop, the C5 gets progressive hydraulic cushions that smoothen out large bumps and minor road imperfections. That's a lot of technical mumbo jumbo, but in the end, does it work? Well, it's a yes and a no. Driving it around, you get a wafting feel like you get in cars with air suspension, and that does feel comfy. But low speed bumps, especially the sharp ones, are felt. In fact, at lower speeds, the ride quality is good, but not much to talk about. It's only when the speeds get above 60 km per hour that the suspension really gets into its stride, absorbing undulations like magic. On the handling front, the C5 feels sure-footed. The steering might not have too much feel, but it's quick and helps changing directions quickly. But it's no corner carver. The tall dimensions and the soft suspension setup means there is body roll. So it's best to take it easy in the corners. Overall, the C5 Aircross feels plenty comfortable, but not groundbreakingly so. Citroën is all set to launch the C5 Aircross in March, and it will be launched in two variants, Feel and Shine. Now Citroën has gone for a top-down approach, but it will launch more affordable cars in the future. But until then, the C5 Aircross will convey to the masses what the brand is all about. Now if the car isn't enough, Citroën also has a unique retail experience called La Maison, and that promises to make buying the C5 Aircross a very unique experience. And you can read all about it in the link in the description below. Now back to the car, the Citroën C5 Aircross will go up against the likes of the Volkswagen Tiguan 5-seater and the Hyundai Tucson, and we expect prices to start at around 28 lakhs ex-showroom. The C5 Aircross is a premium SUV, it looks stylish, it's got enough presence, it's got the performance, and it rides well too. So if you're in the market for a stylish premium SUV and comfort is right up there in your list of priorities, the C5 Aircross has that and more.